Have you ever noticed that the older we get, the world doesn't just look different, it feels different? One morning you sit down with your favorite book, only to realize you're holding it farther and farther away. Or maybe the faces of the people you love are still familiar, but not quite as sharp as they used to be. No pain, no warning, just a quiet blur that slowly settles in and steals a little bit of joy each day. A few months ago, I met Mrs. Patterson, a kind 78-year-old retired nurse from Michigan. Every Sunday morning, she read stories to her granddaughter before church. It was their little ritual. But one day, in the middle of the second page, she paused. She squinted, moved the book closer, then farther away. Her granddaughter looked up and gently asked, "Grandma, do you need new glasses?" Mrs. Patterson smiled, pretending everything was fine, but she told me later, "That moment scared me more than anything. I wasn't afraid of going blind. I was afraid of losing those moments with her." If you've ever felt the same, I want you to know something. You're not powerless. And you don't need expensive supplements or risky procedures to start protecting your vision. Sometimes, the most powerful changes begin inside your own kitchen. In today's video, you're going to discover 3 tiny seeds, simple, affordable, and backed by research, that quietly protect your retina, reduce inflammation, and even restore the moisture in your eyes, especially after the age of 70. And don't worry, I'm not going to overwhelm you with science. We'll take it one step at a time. First, I want to show you why eye health declines after 75, so that the solutions will actually make sense. Let's begin. 1. Why vision declines after 70. The silent biological triggers. As we move past 70, something subtle begins to happen inside our bodies. Not dramatic, not visible, and certainly not painful. It's more like a gentle dimming of a light we've always taken for granted. You see, the retina, the delicate layer of tissue at the back of your eye, relies on one thing above all: steady circulation. Tiny blood vessels constantly deliver oxygen and nutrients to those fragile cells so they can keep processing light and sending clear signals to your brain. But as we age, that circulation starts to slow down. The vessels become narrower. Inflammation begins to build, sometimes from years of stress, sometimes from diet, sometimes simply because time asks for its due. And slowly, without any warning, the retina isn't getting the full support it needs. There's another silent problem: oxidative stress. Imagine a piece of metal slowly rusting over time. That's exactly what free radicals do to eye tissue, especially when you spend years reading under bright lights, using screens, or driving in harsh sunlight. And then there's one more thing most people never hear about: the tear film, a thin layer that keeps your eyes hydrated and protected. After 70, this layer starts to dry out, which is why many older adults feel that gritty sensation or afternoon fatigue in their eyes, even if their vision looks fine on paper. Let me share a real story. Mr. Robert Sefor used to read the local newspaper every morning while sipping his coffee. Last year, he began to notice the type looked softer, not blurry, just less sharp. He cleaned his glasses, changed the light bulb, even scheduled an eye exam. His doctor told him his prescription hadn't changed. The problem wasn't the glasses, it was the retina itself, slowly wearing down from years of poor circulation and chronic low-grade inflammation. When Mr. Robert understood that, something shifted in his mindset. He told me, "I thought this was just what happens when you get old. I never realized my eyes were asking for help." That's the lesson. Vision loss isn't always an inevitable part of aging. Sometimes it's simply the result of not giving our eyes the right support at the right time. And the good news is, support doesn't have to come from a pharmacy. In fact, 3 of the most powerful protectors of your retina are probably sitting in your kitchen right now. Tiny seeds that quietly restore circulation, reduce inflammation, and even help your eyes stay hydrated. Let's start with the first one, and why it's considered a triple shield for aging eye too. The retina and macula, what they actually do, and why they fail without warning. Before we talk about seeds and solutions, It helps to understand what exactly we're trying to protect. Think of your eye like an old-fashioned camera. The front of the eye is the lens. It focuses light. But the retina is the sensor. It's where the image is actually captured. Every time you look at a loved one's smile or read a line from your Bible, light enters the eye, hits the retina, and gets converted into electrical signals that your brain turns into a clear picture. Now, within that retina is a very small but incredibly precious area called the macula. It's no bigger than the tip of a pencil, but it's responsible for all your central vision, the sharp, detailed vision that allows you to read, recognize faces, and notice colors and contrast. Everything outside the macula gives you peripheral vision, but everything that makes life feel clear and meaningful comes from that tiny center. And here's where it gets tricky. Both the retina and macula are packed with light-sensitive cells that need a constant supply of nutrients and antioxidants. The problem is, they have no pain receptors. So when circulation decreases or oxidative damage begins to build, you never feel it. There's no warning signal, no alarm bell, just a gentle fading, like someone is slowly turning down the sharpness on a television. I once spoke with Mrs. Laura, 76, who told me, "I didn't even notice it at first. I just thought my house lights were getting dimmer." For months, she replaced light bulbs, moved her reading lamp closer, even bought a new pair of glasses, but none of it helped. Only later did her eye doctor explain. It wasn't the lighting. It was her macula slowly losing strength due to years of oxidative stress. That conversation changed the way she approached her health. She said, "If I had known my eyes could wear out quietly, I would have started caring for them a lot sooner." And that's the truth most people never hear. The retina doesn't shout for help. It whispers. And by the time we finally hear it, valuable time has already passed. That's why in the next section, we're going to talk about one of the simplest ways to start protecting that fragile tissue. A tiny seed that acts like a daily shield for the retina, especially after 70. Let's begin with chia seeds, and why they're so much more than a trendy topping. 3. Chia seeds. The triple shield. Omega-3, antioxidants, and natural hydration. At first glance, chia seeds don't look like much. Tiny, gray, almost forgettable. But inside each little seed is a powerful combination of nutrients that quietly support aging eyes in 3 different ways. First, chia seeds are one of the richest plant-based sources of omega-3 fatty acids, specifically ALA, alpha-linolenic acid. Your body converts ALA into DHA and EPA, the same compounds found in fish oil, which help reduce inflammation in the retina and improve blood flow to delicate eye tissues. Think of it as gently opening up the tiny blood vessels so your retina gets the nourishment it needs. Second, chia seeds are packed with lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 powerful antioxidants found in high-end eye supplements. These work like protective bodyguards, shielding your retina and macula from oxidative stress caused by bright lights, screens, and outdoor glare. And finally, chia seeds are natural water holders. When soaked, they form a soft gel that helps retain moisture, not just in your digestive system, but throughout the body, including the eyes. That's why many seniors notice their eyes feel less dry and irritated when they start using chia regularly. Let me give you a real example. Edna, 76, had dealt with dry, itchy eyes for over a year. She tried artificial tears and prescription drops, and they helped, but only for a few hours. On a whim, she added 1 teaspoon of soaked chia seeds to her morning oatmeal. That's it. After 3 weeks, she told me, "My eyes don't feel sandy in the afternoons anymore, and I actually look forward to reading again." Her eye doctor later noted less inflammation around the retina and reduced irritation, not because she made a dramatic change, but because she made a small, consistent one. That's the lesson chia seeds teach us. You don't always need radical solutions. Sometimes, the most powerful support comes from something quiet, natural, and easy to do. So if you're ready to give your eyes a little help, start simple. Soak a teaspoon of chia seeds in water overnight and add them to your breakfast. They have almost no flavor and blend perfectly into yogurt, oatmeal, or a smoothie. Just remember one thing: never eat them dry, and always drink plenty of water. They absorb liquid like tiny sponges. Now that we've covered the first shield, let's move to the second, a seed that protects the very center of your vision and even improves the health of your gut at the same time. Flax seeds. 4. Flax seeds. Macula defender and gut-eye connection. While chia seeds give your entire retina a gentle layer of protection, flax seeds focus their strength on the macula, the tiny center point responsible for sharp, detailed vision. Flax seeds contain even more ALA, omega-3 per gram than chia, which means they deliver a stronger anti-inflammatory effect. This is especially important for the macula because inflammation is one of the silent drivers behind macular degeneration. But flax has another advantage. It contains unique compounds called lignans, natural antioxidants found in only a few foods. Lignans help neutralize free radicals, those rust-causing molecules, and support healthy blood vessels inside the eye, which translates into better circulation, less glare sensitivity, and a sharper image. And here's something most people never realize. Your gut and your eyes are deeply connected. When the gut is inflamed or out of balance, the immune system sends inflammatory signals throughout your entire body, including your retina. Flax seeds are rich in soluble fiber, which feeds the good bacteria in your gut and helps reduce whole-body inflammation. In other words, flax seeds don't just protect your macula directly, they also calm the entire internal environment that may be damaging it. One of my patients, Mr. Harold Safour, used to complain about red, itchy eyes and intense glare every time he drove at dusk. He also struggled with mild constipation and indigestion. We didn't start with eye drops. We simply added 1 teaspoon of ground flaxseed to his breakfast yogurt 3 times a week. 4 weeks later, he told me his digestion had improved, and he no longer found himself squinting during his evening drive. His ophthalmologist noticed less irritation around the macula at his next checkup. The small change he made for his gut ended up saving his central vision. That's the lesson. Sometimes the most effective way to protect one part of your body is to support another. If you decide to use flax seeds, just remember these 2 simple rules. Always use them ground. Whole seeds pass through the body undigested. Store them in the refrigerator because the healthy oils inside can spoil quickly. Sprinkle them on your oatmeal. Add them to pancake batter, or mix them into a cup of soup. You won't even taste the difference, but your macula will feel it. And now, let's move to the 3rd seed, a humble snack that may be your best defense against dryness and oxidative stress. Sunflower seeds. 5. Sunflower seeds. Vitamin E, magnesium, and the battle against eye rust. If chia and flax are like gentle daily supplements, sunflower seeds are more like a protective shield, especially against one of the biggest threats to aging eyes, oxidative stress, or what I like to call eye rust. Every time light enters your eyes, from the sun, from a phone, even from a reading lamp, tiny molecules called free radicals are generated. Over time, these free radicals start to damage delicate retinal tissue, just like rust slowly eats away at metal. Sunflower seeds are incredibly rich in vitamin E, one of the most powerful antioxidants known to protect the retina and macula from this kind of damage. Think of vitamin E as the protective oil that keeps the eye machinery from rusting. But that's not all. Sunflower seeds also contain magnesium and selenium, 2 minerals that help relax blood vessels and improve circulation to the retina. And their healthy fats play a critical role in tear production, keeping your eyes hydrated and preventing that dry, burning feeling many older adults experience, especially in the late afternoon. Let me share a real case. Joyce, 79, still drives herself to church choir practice twice a week. But recently she told me, "By the time I leave rehearsal, everything feels foggy, almost like my eyes are tired of holding the focus." Instead of reaching for another bottle of artificial tears, we made one simple shift. She added 1 tablespoon of unsalted sunflower seeds to her afternoon snack, Greek yogurt with berries. Just 3 weeks later, she said she could drive home without that familiar eye strain, and the fogginess at dusk was gone. Her eye doctor also noted improved moisture on the surface of the eye, which means the tear film was functioning better. That's the quiet power of sunflower seeds. Nothing flashy or dramatic, just a gentle restoration of what your eyes naturally do when they're supported. If you want to try them yourself, Here are 2 quick tips. Choose unsalted shelled sunflower seeds. Salted or heavily roasted versions can actually increase inflammation. If you have dental issues or trouble chewing, blend them into a smoothie or sprinkle ground seeds onto salads or oatmeal. A small spoonful can go a long way toward fighting oxidation, improving circulation, and keeping your eyes comfortably hydrated. Now that we've covered all 3 seeds and why they matter, let's take a closer look at something most people completely overlook: how these nutrients actually work together, and why combining them with the right vitamins makes them even more powerful. 6. Critical nutrient synergies. Why vitamin C and zinc make these seeds work better. The 3 seeds we've just talked about are powerful on their own. But here's something most people don't realize. Your body can only use their nutrients fully when certain supporting vitamins are present, specifically vitamin C and zinc. Think of omega-3s, lutein, and vitamin E as the building materials, and vitamin C and zinc as the workers that help move those materials to the right place and install them. Without the workers, the materials can't do their job properly. For example, vitamin C plays a key role in transporting lutein and zeaxanthin into retinal tissue, meaning even if you eat plenty of these antioxidants, very little reaches the eye if your vitamin C levels are low. Zinc, on the other hand, acts like a traffic controller that helps shuttle omega-3 fatty acids directly to the retina and supports the enzymes that repair damaged cells in the macula. So when someone eats chia, flax, or sunflower seeds but still feels their eyes drying or blurring, it's often because one of these supporting nutrients is missing in their diet. Here's a quick example. Mrs. Snyder, 80, started adding flax and chia to her breakfast after her eye doctor suggested it. But 6 weeks later, she told me she didn't notice much improvement. After a quick conversation, we realized she rarely ate fruit and hadn't had a citrus in months. All we did was add half an orange to her breakfast and a few pumpkin seeds, rich in zinc, in the afternoon. Within 2 weeks, she noticed her eyes felt more awake and less tired by evening. Same seeds. Only now they finally had the nutrients they needed to do their job. That's the lesson. Sometimes it's not about adding more, but about helping what you already have work better. So here's a simple way to make the most of these seeds. Seed-suggested pairing: chia, orange slices or a kiwi, vitamin C, flax Greek yogurt, plus handful of blueberries. Sunflower sprinkle on spinach salad. Spinach is rich in zinc. It doesn't require a big diet change, just thoughtful combinations. And now that you know how these nutrients work together, let's talk about something equally important: the mistakes people often make with these seeds. Mistakes that can quietly erase all the benefits. 6. Critical nutrient synergies. Why vitamin C and zinc make these seeds work better. The 3 seeds we've just talked about are powerful on their own. But here's something most people don't realize. Your body can only use their nutrients fully when certain supporting vitamins are present, specifically vitamin C and zinc. Think of omega-3s, lutein, and vitamin E as the building materials, and vitamin C and zinc as the workers that help move those materials to the right place and install them. Without the workers, the materials can't do their job properly. For example, vitamin C plays a key role in transporting lutein and zeaxanthin into retinal tissue, meaning even if you eat plenty of these antioxidants, very little reaches the eye if your vitamin C levels are low. Zinc, on the other hand, acts like a traffic controller that helps shuttle omega-3 fatty acids directly to the retina and supports the enzymes that repair damaged cells in the macula. So when someone eats chia, flax, or sunflower seeds but still feels their eyes drying or blurring, it's often because one of these supporting nutrients is missing in their diet. Here's a quick example. Mrs. Snyder, 80, started adding flax and chia to her breakfast after her eye doctor suggested it. But 6 weeks later, she told me she didn't notice much improvement. After a quick conversation, we realized she rarely ate fruit and hadn't had a citrus in months. All we did was add half an orange to her breakfast and a few pumpkin seeds, rich in zinc, in the afternoon. Within 2 weeks, she noticed her eyes felt more awake and less tired by evening. Same seeds. only now they finally had the nutrients they needed to do their job. That's the lesson. Sometimes it's not about adding more, but about helping what you already have work better. So here's a simple way to make the most of these seeds. Seeds suggested pairing chia orange slices or a kiwi, vitamin C, flax Greek yogurt, plus handful of blueberries. Sunflower sprinkle on spinach salad. Spinach is rich in zinc. It doesn't require a big diet change, just thoughtful combinations. And now that you know how these nutrients work together, let's talk about something equally important: the mistakes people often make with these seeds. Mistakes that can quietly erase all the benefits. 7. Top 3. Common mistakes that reduce eye benefits of seeds. Even though chia, flax, and sunflower seeds are incredibly powerful for eye health, a lot of people unintentionally cancel out their benefits because of a few simple mistakes. Let's walk through the 3 most common ones, so you can avoid them. Mistake No. 1. Using seeds that are roasted at high temperatures. A lightly toasted seed is fine, but many store-bought versions are roasted at very high heat, which destroys up to 60% of the vitamin E and omega-3 content. That means you're eating the seed, but not getting the benefit. Tip: choose raw or lightly toasted seeds, and avoid heavily roasted or flavored varieties. Mistake No. 2. Buying salted seeds. It may seem harmless, but those salted versions often contain more sodium than a bag of chips. Sodium causes water retention and can increase ocular pressure, exactly the opposite of what aging eyes need. Tip: always go with unsalted seeds, and if you happen to buy salted ones, rinse them briefly and let them dry before using. Mistake No. 3. Eating them dry without water. This is especially common with chia and flax. Because they absorb liquid like sponges, eating them dry can actually pull moisture from your digestive tract, which may worsen dehydration and, ironically, increase eye dryness. Tip: always soak chia seeds before eating and drink an extra glass of water when you use ground flax. Let me give you a quick example. Mr. Wallace, 72, started eating sunflower seeds every afternoon because he heard they were good for the eyes. But he was eating the salted, roasted kind straight from the bag and washing them down with a diet soda. After a month, he actually felt more eye fatigue. Once we switched him to raw, unsalted seeds and added a cup of water. His evening eye strain disappeared within 10 days. That's the small lesson. It's not just what you eat, it's how you eat it. Now that you know what not to do, let's look at how to turn these seeds into a simple, realistic weekly routine, one that makes eye protection feel effortless. Up next, a 7-day sample plan you can start using right away. 8. How to build your eye protection weekly routine. 7-day sample plan. One of the biggest mistakes people make with healthy habits is trying to do everything at once. They hear chia is good, flax is good, sunflower is good, and the next day they're dumping all 3 into every meal. That usually lasts about a week. A better way, and the way I teach my own patients, is to create a gentle rotation. That gives your body variety without overwhelming your digestive system, and it turns eye protection into a rhythm, not a burden. Here's a simple 7-day sample plan anyone can follow. Day seed, how to use it. Monday, chia soaked overnight, plus added to oatmeal or yogurt. Tuesday, ground flax, mixed into a smoothie or sprinkled over soup. Wednesday, sunflower unsalted seeds over spinach, salad, or afternoon snack. Thursday, chia, added to banana plus almond milk. Mini shake. Friday, ground flax, stirred into pancake waffle batter. Saturday, sunflower blended into Greek yogurt with berries. Sunday, rest or repeat your favorite. Choose whichever felt best that week. Note, you don't need to follow this perfectly. Think of it as a guide, not a rule book. If you love sunflower seeds, use them twice. If flax feels too heavy one week, skip a day. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. One of my clients, Barbara, 1, followed this exact approach. She started small, with just chia on Mondays and flax on Fridays. 2 months later, she told me, "I never thought I'd stick with it, but it's become part of my rhythm now. My eyes don't feel tired in the afternoon, and more than anything, I feel like I'm doing something for myself. That's the real win. When a small habit becomes part of your week, it stops feeling like a chore and starts feeling like self-respect. Now that you have a simple weekly plan in place, let's talk about something most videos never address: the emotional side of vision loss, and why protecting your eyes is about much more than just seeing clearly. Up next, the emotional side of vision loss, maintaining independence and confidence. 9. The emotional side of vision loss, maintaining independence and confidence. When we talk about eye health, it's easy to focus only on the medical side: retinas, maculas, omega-3s, and blood flow. But there's another layer to this that often goes unspoken: the emotional impact of slowly losing your vision. Because sight isn't just about seeing, it's about connecting. The look on your grandson's face when he tells you a joke, the quiet joy of reading a familiar book before bed, the simple confidence of being able to drive yourself to the store without depending on anyone else. That's what's really at stake. I once spoke with Mr. Thompson, an 82-year-old retired teacher. For years, every Tuesday, he drove himself to a local community center and read short stories to a small group of children. But one day, he realized he was struggling to read the text aloud, hesitating over sentences he used to know by heart. Rather than risk embarrassment, he stopped going. He told his daughter it was just time to slow down. But when we spoke privately, he admitted, "It wasn't the reading that bothered me. It was the feeling that I was beginning to disappear from the world." That sentence stayed with me, because it's a reminder that even small changes in vision can quietly erode confidence, independence, and even identity. The good news? Supporting your eyes, even in small, gentle ways, isn't just about preventing disease. It's about protecting the life you still want to live. It's about saying, I still want to drive myself to church. I still want to read bedtime stories. I still want to recognize the face of the person I love. That's the deeper reason behind habits like chia, flax, and sunflower seeds. They're not just nutrients. They're little acts of self-respect that keep you connected to the world around you. And now that we've explored both the physical and emotional reasons behind protecting your vision, let's wrap everything together with a gentle reminder. Sometimes a single consistent habit is all it takes to begin turning the tide. Up next, final encouragement. Make one small change this week and stick to it. 10. Final encouragement. Make one small change this week and stick to it. If you've made it this far in the video, I want to say something very simple. Thank you. It means you care. Not just about seeing more clearly, but about staying engaged with life, staying connected to the people you love, and honoring the body that's carried you this far. And I want to leave you with one gentle reminder. You don't have to fix everything at once. You just have to start somewhere and stay with it. Maybe that somewhere is soaking a teaspoon of chia tonight and adding it to your breakfast tomorrow. Maybe it's buying a small bag of ground flax and storing it in your fridge. Maybe it's switching from salted sunflower snacks to the unsalted kind and keeping a little bowl of them on the kitchen counter. One small change, done consistently. That's how things begin to shift. Not dramatically, not overnight, but quietly, and for good. I've seen it countless times. A grandmother who stopped using artificial tears after 2 months of flax. A retired farmer who could read road signs more easily after adding chia to his oatmeal. A choir singer who got her evening clarity back with a handful of sunflower seeds and an extra glass of water. Not miracles. Just small choices made again and again. And that's what I want for you. So here's my invitation. Pick one seed, pick one meal, and begin this week. And when you do, come back and tell me how it's going. I read every message, and your story might just give someone else the courage to start. This is Dr. James Porter reminding you that health isn't about being perfect. It's about being present and choosing to care, even in the smallest ways. Take care of your eyes. Take care of yourself. Which seed will you start with? Chia, flax, or sunflower? Let me know in the comments below.